As the President and CEO of the BC Hotel Association, I can tell you I'm incredibly pleased to be launching our GoGreen sustainability pillar. This has been one of our strategies for quite some time, and the ability now to launch this at a time when you as hoteliers and accommodators need the support the most. Our goal is that it really provides you an opportunity for energy savings, to develop energy strategies, and for us to continue to add to the sustainability pillar and support your success. And we do have Teri Dusenberry, who is our Manager of Member Engagement, assisting with the webinar this afternoon. The sustainability program that we're launching is a wonderful beginning to what we hope is a long-time partnership between Fortis BC and the BC Hotel Association. And Fortis BC very generously has provided us what we need in order to provide you the expertise to evaluate your businesses through the lens of energy and energy savings. And today we do have Vlad with Fortis on the line, and also Dylan, who is our newest team member. And Dylan is our energy analyst. And Dylan really is the fellow with all the expertise that's going to guide us through today. So this is a partnership that works in conjunction with our Green Key program, which is through the Hotel Association of Canada. We have an eco rating with Green Key and also a green meeting program with Green Key. And then now we're adding to that with our Fortis BC and GreenStep partnerships. Next slide, please, Teri. Here I am, my corporate look, and what I love to do if I'm anywhere near the ocean or the lake, which is to fish. I'm really proud to be holding the position of President and CEO, and I know this is an incredibly dire time for our industry, and believe me, everything that we can possibly do to support your liquidity, your sustainability, and for you to be able to get out the other side of this dreadful pandemic is what we're committed to doing. So this sustainability pillar, as I referenced earlier, is part of that roadmap to the other side, and hopefully supporting your success. Next slide, please, Teri. And we have Vlad Koska with us from Fortis BC. Vlad, you're on mute right now. I'm not sure if you'd like to say a few words, but I would just like to say how absolutely thrilled I am. Vlad and I have known each other for quite some time, and it was at that amazing tourism conference that many of us were at in the beginning of March, where we really talked about the opportunity to put this together, and voila, here we are. So Vlad, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, and hello everybody. Is this audio okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. It's actually, first I'm looking at the list. It's great to see lots of you that we have been working together already with. Hi, Mary. At the same time, yes, that conference was a really key point where we discussed the opportunity to work together. Fortis has this beautiful program called Energy Analyst, Energy Specialist, where we are able to fund or co-fund the position with certain organizations to help their members, the organization of the members of the organization, to help them be more proactive in the sustainability and save money at the same time. The focus really of the program is to provide incentives so you can really go much more aggressive and achieve much better financial results or green results as well as you would without these additional funds available to you. Going back to the conference, I think it was the last conference of the year. I think that it was really just very, very last. Everything else was shut down after that. So yes, I'm glad we had the opportunity to be there and to talk about this program. I would say that this was probably the fastest I've seen Fortis to move on any programs ever in my career of 10 years with Fortis. This was really fast, very efficient, and you guys at the BCHA are amazing to work with. So and well, without further ado, I'm not going to steal any thunder from Dylan. Amazing guy who I had a chance to talk to a few times, and yeah, would like to hand over everything to Dylan, and please lead us through what we can do.
Thank you very much, Vlad. Now, Dylan, here's our introduction to Dylan. He's our certified energy manager. He is the fellow that will be working hand in hand with you as hoteliers, your maintenance manager, your engineers. And he has an amazing background, which Dylan, let me turn it over to you. I'd just like to say before I do so, we have a slide deck that we'll go through that will give you the overview of the program. Then we actually have received some questions from those of you that are on the webinar, which we will answer. And then our hope is that we actually have an end where you can use the chat function at the bottom of your screen and ask us questions for that last sort of 20-25 minutes of the webinar. So Dylan, over to you, and thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ingrid. My name is Dylan Tomlin. I'm absolutely thrilled and excited to be joining the BC Hotel Association as an energy analyst and working towards these goals and along with Fortis BC. A little bit about myself. I'm a certified energy manager, and I've been working in the conservation industry for the last 16 years. My journey in energy conservation started in the early 2000s as a member of the BC Hydro youth outreach teams that handed out free compact fluorescent light bulbs. From there, I ended up in a role on the smart metering pilot program that BC Hydro was exploring at the time, and then that led to a job with the commercial key account management team at BC Hydro. Shortly after the 2010 Olympics, I left my job at BC Hydro to follow my wife's career and moved out east to Toronto. That's her hometown. While in Ontario, I connected with some former BC Hydro colleagues who were working for an engineering firm. And they were delivering a large industrial save on energy program on behalf of the independent electricity system operator over there. So I worked in the marketing team for that program for several years until an opportunity came up to move back home to BC. I was born and raised in BC, so the mountains were calling and the West Coast was calling. So the opportunity that brought me back was actually with Fortis BC. It was to deliver an energy conservation program for small and medium commercial customers in the Fortis BC electric service territory. That contract lasted for 2 years. And then I moved on to a different contract with Energy Efficiency Alberta on a carbon reduction program for large industrial and large commercial customers. And for that program, I acted as a senior account manager working directly with those customers to identify energy saving opportunities and access incentives and grants for those projects. So that brings me to today and this opportunity to work with the BCHA and its members, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be working with this group. Next slide, please. So what is GoGreen? Basically, we will be working with BCHA members to help them identify energy saving projects by undertaking energy assessments. These include a technology and equipment inventory, room control survey, benchmarking study, a final report showing energy savings opportunities and available Fortis BC rebates, and then a business case presentation to hotel management. I'll go into a little bit more detail on those independently in a second here. Next slide, please. So how is the GoGreen assessment different from something you may have received previously? So this service will complement most other types of energy or sustainability assessments that hotels have undertaken in the past. If you have that data, I'd love to see it and we can implement it into the work I'm doing, but I'll also take a look at what your facility is doing and what you have on site and make my own assessments based off that. So we'll provide a much more in-depth analysis of your energy consumption and costs with the primary goal of identifying tens of thousands of dollars in annual cost savings and utility rebates. Each assessment will include an analysis of energy costs and consumption, basically the stuff I listed above in that assessment piece, as well as the energy saving opportunities, list of rebates and incentives, any low cost or no cost ways to reduce energy, seeing as we are experiencing low occupancy as a result of the COVID-19 situation. This information will be compiled into a business case report and then presented to hotel management that will highlight all of the rebates. The business case report will include detailed analysis of your energy costs. We'll identify the high energy wasting equipment and a list of recommended projects and the rebates that support those. So whether you're replacing aging equipment or installing equipment that will be most effective at lowering your utility bills, the GoGreen analysis complements what your engineering and maintenance teams are already doing. And last but not least, the most important part, it's all free of charge to BCHA members, so there's no cost to participate in the program. As Vlad and Ingrid mentioned, my position has been funded in a partnership with Fortis BC. So the energy assessment itself. These assessments will be both in-person assessments and virtual assessments. And we'll start off with that virtual energy assessment. So depending on how the COVID-19 situation is progressing and based on how complicated your property is, we'll determine if an in-person follow-up is required. All these details will feed into a desktop analysis for your property. We'll walk through all aspects of your property that relate to the consumption of energy, specifically focusing on the equipment that uses natural gas and electricity, but we will look at other fuel types as well. The time commitment on this could take up to a couple hours. The first virtual assessment, probably only an hour. If I need to come on site, I'll do my best not to use up much of your time and key in on the areas that need that additional attention. Next slide, please. We'll develop an equipment inventory. This will show you the technology types for each piece of equipment at your property. So whether that's LED lights, incandescent lights, fluorescent lights, we'll list that out. The age of all the equipment, so we know how close to end of life so that equipment is, and the energy consumption that each piece of equipment uses. From that, we'll identify the top 5 opportunities for energy savings and rebates. For this, we'll provide additional details on those specific pieces of equipment, and then make a plan to go forward on how we can access those rebates, implement those projects, and lower your energy bills. Okay. We'll do a control survey. So that I'll go through and record what type of controls are currently being used within your hotel rooms for both HVAC and lighting. Then I will be able to provide suggestions on where new controls could be beneficial, or work with you and your maintenance or engineering teams to develop or update a control strategy to provide you with energy savings opportunities. Next slide. Benchmarking study, we will help you understand how you're performing against properties that are similar to yours through this benchmarking study. I will use your property-specific details along with your energy consumption data to determine your overall building performance, and then see how you do against a portfolio of buildings that you own or other hotels across the province and even Canada. So we'll use a portfolio manager for this, and use your energy use intensity and your emissions profile per square meter to input this data. Next slide. The final report. So all of the data that's collected above will be compiled into a final report and delivered to you. The final report will highlight each aspect of the energy assessment that I went through, as long as your benchmarking study, to provide you with a comprehensive report detailing where the money you spend on your utility bills is going, how you stand up against other hotels of similar size and makeup, and provide you with a roadmap on how to improve your building's performance. All of this will be included, including a key part there of what Fortis BC rebates and incentives are available to you, so we can make a plan to proceed with those energy conservation projects. And we will be able to present that business case to hotel management. So we'll have that information gathered, and we'll be able to demonstrate how continuous investments and improvements in energy efficiency can create significant savings over time. I will explain where the best opportunities are for energy reductions, the rebates that are available from Fortis BC, and try to put that in a nice package so that we can have a common sense approach to these projects. Out of this as well, we'll be taking a look at other initiatives that are out there for alternate funding sources, such as the GreenStep Eco Fund program or green loans from banking institutions that assist in building investment dollars and help with project implementation. Many hoteliers that we speak to say their key barriers in pursuing energy efficiency projects is the time, money, and expertise, and hopefully that can be taken care of through some partners that we have. Next slide, please. So what are the benefits of participating in a program like this? Obviously, there's some that come to mind right away, but the ones I wanted to highlight are the reduced operational costs. Hotels can easily cut their consumption by 20 to 30% without changing a guest's experience or comfort. By reducing how much your hotel uses, you can lower your energy bill, lower your operating costs, and lower your carbon footprint. The other area that is often overlooked for these operational costs is the reduction in maintenance costs that come with installing energy efficient equipment. So if we look at lighting technologies alone, if you go from say a T12 or T8 fluorescent lamp or incandescent light bulbs and change those over to an LED, the old technology needed to be replaced every 1 to 5 years, where the new LED lights can last up to 30 times longer. So this means your engineering and maintenance teams can focus on larger issues and not just screwing in or replacing light bulbs. All of this provides cost savings, which will help recover from COVID-19 impacts that we're all facing. Number 2 here, meeting customer demand. So it's proven that the number of travelers seeking out eco-friendly accommodations is increasing. And on top of that, they're willing to pay up to 5% more for services if they have a positive environmental impact. Additionally, more and more corporate accounts are specifically looking for hotels who are making choices to be more sustainable. Hotels can use this to their advantage. So if you're an early adopter and positioning themselves as an eco alternative hotel, it puts you in an advantageous position. Showing that you're actively reducing your hotel's energy use can meet the demand for eco-conscious travelers, meaning your hotel attracts new clientele while staying a step ahead of emerging sustainable trends. Next here is elevated guest comfort. So by replacing, say, your fluorescent lights with LED lights or adding room sensing temperature controls in the guest rooms, the overall experience for your customers becomes a little bit better. It's a more comfortable space and experience for those guests. Sometimes something as simple as a reading light can make a difference on whether a guest will book a repeat stay at your property. Next up is the improved eco brand reputation. So as a hotelier, it's important to show that you're working on your corporate social responsibility. Promoting green activities on your website, through your social media platforms, in your lobby and guest rooms will help improve your brand image. An improved brand image can also help in other areas of your business, such as an increase in your employee retention rates. Staff that are more likely to stay with companies long-term whose social values mirror their own. So by increasing staff loyalty, you can increase or reduce staff turnover and lower the money spent on hiring and training that staff. And lastly here is improved scoring for rewards or recognition programs that are out there, such as Green Key Global, LEED certified, or any other awards, labels, or recognition available. These are great in reaching new audience and drawing eco-conscious guests to your hotel as well. Next slide. So I have a project example here. It's a resort lighting retrofit project. So as you can see here, the total project cost for this lighting retrofit was just under $20,000. But the annual cost savings of implementing this project on the utility bill side was $27,500. It created an energy savings of just over 200,000 kilowatt hours annually, resulting in a payback period of 3.5 months. So this hotel and resort in the southern interior of BC, they retrofitted just over 1,800 of their lights to new energy efficiency LEDs and is seeing an impressive 345% return on investment. Such a simple thing as replacing those incandescent fluorescent tubes, compact fluorescent lamps, high bay lighting with LED technology is resulting in such an excellent project here. Next slide, please. And all of this comes together with the rebates and incentives that are available through Fortis BC. So, not only are they providing funding to pay for my position as an energy analyst, they also provide a large suite of rebate programs. So here's an example of some of the measures that have Fortis BC rebates associated with them. The key areas that that we're going to look at are lighting, room controls, HVAC equipment. But if there's anything else that we come across, there's most likely a Fortis BC rebate associated with it, and we'll do our best to take advantage of those rebates. Next slide. So also mentioned was the new partnership with the GreenStep Eco Fund program. Hotels can generate a fund which helps hotels invest in projects that save money and reduce their carbon footprint, while also receiving expert guidance to support project prioritization and implementation. With many hotels temporarily closed or with low occupancy, now's a perfect time to take advantage of this unique opportunity. This program will allow us to go above and beyond the typical responsibilities of this role by providing hotels with that implementation support to obtain quotes for those top identified projects, prioritization of those projects based on the age of the equipment, payback, return on investment, and cost savings, and help with contractor selection and ensure that all projects receive Fortis BC rebates by submitting the rebate applications on your behalf. On top of that, hotels will receive marketing support with the creation of annual project spotlights to communicate reductions in environmental impacts and their carbon footprint. Some guidance to work towards improving your Energy Star score, and help setting science-based carbon reduction goal in alignment with Clean BC goals and the Science-Based Reduction Target Initiative. Importantly, working with GreenStep will provide your hotels the opportunity to grow an eco fund that will be used specifically to fund or help fund the cost of energy efficiency projects. So this, along with the rebates, could come in very handy. Next slide, please. How does COVID-19 impact all of this? So first and foremost, I guess, in light of COVID-19, undertaking the analysis during this time of low occupancy or while hotels are closed will allow me to complete any on-site work while ensuring proper physical distancing and safety protocols are maintained, while also having ready access to operations and maintenance teams. We'll work hand in hand with those maintenance and engineering teams to get the data that's required. But in most cases, the data collection will probably take place initially through a remote or virtual assessment visit. You know, I've heard it been said several times before that the best time to invest in energy efficiency is in a down market. So we're all experiencing the down market, but hopefully through initiatives like this, we find a way to recover and come back to full strength a lot sooner and quicker. Okay, next slide. So this all sounds great. Now, how do I sign up? How do I become a part of what's going on here today? So to reserve your energy analysis, please visit the link attached here on the BCHA website and complete the survey at the bottom of the page. Or you can just simply email me. My email address is gogreen@bcha.com. Once I receive that and I understand your interests, we can set up a time to have a chat about what those opportunities look like, and then move forward onto the virtual assessment and start really getting our teeth or sinking our teeth into how we can help and how we can make your property more sustainable for the long term. We have an upcoming webinar next month. So in partnership with Fortis BC and Prism Engineering, we will be hosting a webinar with details on how to start up your building after being shut down for an extended period. It's called Turn Up, Turn On. So it will provide tips and suggestions on how the best way to start up a building that may have been closed up or running at lower occupancy for a period of time. So that will be held on Thursday, July 9th from 1 to 2:30. More details will come on how to sign up for that as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So we had some questions come in already before the presentation. So we'll address the ones that were most common. The first one here is, what is the best way to be going green while complying with COVID-19 regulations? So, you know, we're kind of in a spot where we are being a little bit more wasteful with some of the things we're doing based on the WorkSafe BC recommendations and implementations that are in place. You know, in my opinion, the best way to go green is to look at initiatives like this. How can we reduce those operational costs or those fixed costs that come with your electricity bill or your natural gas bill? By taking advantage of a program like this, we can identify what those opportunities are and really take advantage of the situation and implement some maybe low-hanging fruit or low-cost, no-cost projects to help on that recovery side.
Dylan, just Terry, would you go back a slide? I think to some of the questions that we're getting is, you know, do you have to replace things more often in the room? Or do you have to, if you have a 2-bedroom suite and you only rent out one room, do you have to strip all the towels and all the linen? And what can you do about that? I think as operators, we need to encourage you to make sure that whatever you have in the room, that it is sterilized according to the best practice and protocol document in WorkSafe BC. If you have the opportunity to lock off, and I would suggest that, you know, moving forward, that might be a good way for you to save on laundry costs and that sort of thing. And just make sure that if you do have amenities that might be your bulk amenities, doesn't mean that you have to get rid of those. It means that you need to make sure that part of your house cleaning standard, which would already be in place, that they in fact are sterilized. So, you know, just be cautious around, of course, as we're looking to go green and be committed to sustainability, we don't want to all of a sudden have masses of plastic that we're not quite sure what to do with. So some of those best practices from pre-COVID and that were developed during COVID certainly are appropriate to address those concerns. Next slide, please.
The next question that came up is, what if Fortis BC is not in my region? So what if my hotel does not fall within the Fortis BC service territory? So there is a mix of Fortis BC Electric and Fortis BC Natural Gas, and they are 2 different areas of the province. So you may not have one or either of those services. So you know, this program or this position has been funded through Fortis BC. Essentially, the ratepayers paying those Fortis BC utility rates. If you do happen to fall outside of that territory, it's a small portion of the province, but if you do, we will definitely put you in touch with folks that can help you access the similar type service. We don't want you to be left without because you're not in that service territory. Vlad, do you have anything to add to that?
I think one of the other things, Dylan, is that with our partnership with GreenStep, there is other organizations and agencies or there are other relationships that we can stand in and make sure that we're providing you what their opportunity is for energy savings and analysis once that's done. So it's we're able to blanket the province through different relationships, but the core of this is certainly within the Fortis BC regions.
And if you're unsure where, if you are a Fortis BC customer or not, definitely, get in touch with me. I can find out pretty quickly. I can get in touch with Vlad and we can work together to see if you are a Fortis BC customer and identify that for you.
And thank you. That was my point as well. We can deal with it on a one-on-one basis and find a solution to everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
Next slide, please, Terry.
So next here is, what is the cost for the analysis? So we touched on this a couple times. The analysis is free to you as a BCHA member. The partnership with Fortis BC has provided funding for my role. So there is no cost for the analysis. For me to do the virtual assessment, come on site and look at that detail. Obviously, there'll be a small amount of time requirements to provide me with some information so I'm able to do that in-depth analysis. But other than that, it's just a service that's provided through the membership.
Okay, at the bottom of your screen, you have a chat function. I just put a chat there saying, feel free to put your questions on this chat function. Vlad and Dylan and myself are all here ready to answer whatever questions that you may have. So don't be shy, ask all the most difficult questions, and we'll be sure to do our best to answer. And possibly, Dylan, you've been so thorough on the webinar that there might not be any questions. I'm not sure.
It's a lot of information to take in. So
okay, here we go. Thanks. Great to see everyone. We're outside the service area. Okay, so we will have everybody's contact information that is here, and we will definitely be in touch. Okay, thank you so much for sharing the great work on sustainability. Another way to go green and make huge cost savings is to work on food waste prevention. Thank you very much. And Ben, thanks for reaching out, because we certainly are looking at a way that we can work with Rethink Together as well. Just a great partner. And certainly we all know, with the focus on our supply chain and food security or insecurity, this is a significant opportunity for us as hotel operators. Rethink Together is a new member of BCHA. We'd like to acknowledge and welcome you. And we're specialized in food waste prevention and provide one-on-one support and a certification program. So we're thrilled to have you online today, Ben, and really look forward to working together. And there's actually a link here to the Rethink Together website if anybody is interested in that. So thanks so much for that. While we're waiting to see if there's any other questions, we have Teri's contact information on the final slide here, membership@bcha.com. And then Dylan direct is GoGreen@bcha.com. And then bcha.com website is where you can find all the COVID information and best practices and sign up to be a member or anything else that you'd like to do. It's a very robust site with lots and lots of information there. So we'll give a couple of other questions. Vlad, is there anything that you'd like to say at this point to round out the webinar today? I think, Dylan, you've been very thorough. And, I think if you have any last comments, that would be appropriate at this point. Vlad?
I think very thorough would be one comment. Yes, Dylan, great job. Pretty much outlined everything. If there's one thing, if you were to remember from this, is of course, if you're looking into be more energy efficient, go ask Dylan and think about this. We do have lots of money available to be provided as incentives. Help us to give it to you. I guess that's the best.
Thank you, Vlad. We do have a question here. Is there any attention being put towards wastewater or water catchment technologies? I'll just say that we do have a couple of opportunities to potentially have some companies that specialize in that partner with us. And if and when that occurs, we will certainly be presenting that to you as our members or our industry. You know, one thing is what we're providing for industry as a whole. You know, this relationship is possible because of the partnership between Fortis and BCHA. So if anybody's on the call that's not a member, we'd love you to join, but that doesn't mean that you're not eligible for the program. Dylan, would you like to say anything about wastewater or water catchment technologies?
Yeah, we can discuss those options when we're having our virtual assessment or in-person assessments, and not necessarily part of the energy reduction side of things, but we can have the discussion and see what other opportunities lie with other relationships we may have and point those members in the right direction.
Yeah, there's certainly some really interesting technologies that are coming on market now that I think could potentially make a significant difference there. We're not quite there ready to present to you as a partner, but certainly we have our eye on that as part of our pillar.
If I may add to maybe this as well, regarding new technologies, Fortis quite often engages its partners, customers to offer to be partners of in some pilot projects, where we are really working with our customers to get new technologies out there to test it, try it out, and I believe through Dylan now you will have lots of opportunities to learn about those projects and be part of it.
Yeah.
One of them, I don't know, maybe you've heard about the CO2 capture program, where we have a team up with a company from Alberta to provide technology to, I believe, a couple of hotels involved that provides capturing of CO2 as well as increasing efficiency of the system, mechanical systems or heating system. So again, we do have these opportunities, and we would be very pleased to find some more uptakes in some of those pilot projects.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just give another moment or two here to ask any additional questions. And just a reminder, the webinar and the recording will be available. We'll post it on our website. We'll also send it out as an update to our members and database through our communiques. So we'll include it in that as well, so that you can replay it to your team members, or that you can share it with other hoteliers.
And one thing I'll add, Ingrid, is if anybody does have any questions that come up later, tonight, tomorrow, email me at any time. I'm happy to address those questions and look into the answers if I don't have them at my fingertips. I'm here to help you with this, and hopefully we can work together to dive into these energy analysis and assessments. But any questions about the program, the offer, what we're going to do, reach out anytime.
Great. Thank you for that, Dylan. And thank you very much. And we wish you well. We're here to work on your behalf. We're really looking forward to helping you save some energy and save some money and make sure that there's a flow to your bottom line. So that's what this is all about. And thank you all for spending the hour with us. Really appreciate you're already signing up. I mean, it's amazing. We've just been thrilled with how many properties have already signed up for Dylan to do the analysis. And we look forward to working with as many of you as are interested. So thank you very much. Be safe out there.